I don't know where this is from, where they got it from, but it's on Squared Circle. It says, John, quote unquote, it's from Renee. John, quote unquote, accidentally threw his phone in a bonfire last night, and odds are he will never get another phone. Send carrier pigeons. We may never hear from him again. Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the BREWDCAST. Happy Juneteenth, by the way. I threw myself off. My name is Gal. I have always been Gal. Trust me. With us tonight is the lovely Leon Robinson. Say hi, Leon.
Hi, Leon.
And also with us tonight is the loquacious Town Drunk. How you doing, Town?
Exquisite.
I'm sticking with loquacious, even if it's wrong. I don't care. It's a cool word. Okay, so...
So is genital warts.
It is not.
Oh, fuck.
I don't know how to follow that.
Too bad chlamydia is a venereal disease. Otherwise, it's such a pretty name. I'd name my daughter chlamydia.
But you should not. Don't do that. You will get yelled at.
You could change the perception of the word, I guess.
Yeah, but then they'd have to rename the disease. We are getting off track.
It's from the movie Waiting.
Okay. Tonight, so we all know what we want to talk about, but we're saving it for the end because my hope is that it will be, like, I'm very excited about it. So we're going to talk about Dynamite. Thoughts, considerations. I don't know if we want to go through the entire card. I think it was a good card. I enjoyed it. The MJF versus Roosh match at the beginning, excellent match. Great setup for Hechicero. A little wonky, but still a great setup, I think.
I thought it was a good match. MJF is the star. It shows.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else to say about that.
Beat the hell out of each other.
They did.
It was fun. It was a good match. I thought it was the best match of the night.
Oh. I'm going to go ahead and disagree with you on that one, but we can talk about that later. No, fuck it. We'll talk about it now. There's no order. I thought Claudio versus Pac was better. I think it was close, but
Claudio versus Pac was good, but I thought MJF Roosh was better. But it was
yeah, for sure. I've said it before. We've said it before. They know how to set up a good opener, and they know how to set up a good main event. Yep. They don't always fill in the middle so well, but this time they absolutely did. They were really on point tonight. With I
thought it was a good show.
The shit with Ospreay, MJF was featured a few times. Mercedes promo was good.
Yep.
Now, granted, it was recorded, but it was good. I am more stoked for that match.
Once she stopped talking, everything got good. Once she started working, because that's what she could do. Which is a shame because she's got a good character and a good everything, but it's just those promos get a little.
Well, when she has to wing it, I think the promo she did tonight was good.
Yeah.
But I think it was much. I think the acting portion as opposed to the what is the word I'm looking for? Improv portion of doing promos. I think that works better for her. She can act, but she can't necessarily come up with shit on the spot.
I would agree.
Stat versus Nyla Rose was good. I enjoyed that.
Yep.
I'm glad that
the finals
got
of the
TV time.
Yes.
The finals of the Owen Hart are going to be Stat and Willow, I think.
That would make the most sense. Is Willow on the other side? I thought she was on the same side.
I thought they were on other sides.
You know what? I took a
picture. The way Willow's, I didn't look at the bracket, but the way Willow's promo sounded, it sounded like they'd be facing each other second round.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Second round.
I don't think it's going to be second round, yeah.
So some semifinals? Because either quarterfinals? Tournaments confuse me.
No, that's actually, yeah, okay. Because I do think Mariah May might win this, now that I look at it and I remember that. Because her and Toni Storm would be a good match to do in London.
It would be.
Although, I think Stat beats Willow.
I think Stat or Willow would be good in that spot too. Honestly, they have a lot of wrestlers on the women's side that could make for a good foil against Toni Storm, which is nice because then we're like, who's it going to be? Who's going to win? We don't know. I suppose that's the point, but they're doing a good job of it this year.
I would agree.
Because I think in the past it's been kind of transparent about where they're going to go with it.
No, because the first tournament, I didn't think Cole and Britt Baker were going to win like they did. I thought it was going to be Ruby and whoever Cole thought.
Oh, that's right.
They kind of threw us for a loop with that one because it seemed too obvious for those two to win. But
I think Willow would fit, Chris would fit, any of them. Nyla would have fit. That would have been a cool match, but it would have, like... It's Pride Month, and it's Juneteenth, so, they had to bring Nyla out. I hate to be that cynical about it, but, I feel that's what happened.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Because they did the same shit with Sunny Kiss, and now they don't have her anymore.
Yeah.
I was going to say, when are they going to bring out Abaddon, but that's probably October.
Yeah, Abaddon's always October. She gets a Halloween push every year.
See them every October.
Who here thinks that Pac might go to Wembley?
I mean...
I knew it was just going to be me.
I don't know exactly how, but I mean, yeah, he's for sure going to be there.
You're talking the main event?
I'm talking for the main event. I would
think so.
Oh, okay.
I think it's Danielson.
Oh, but what about Jay White? Or Jeff Jarrett? That could be sick.
What about the wild card?
What did you just say?
Jeff Jarrett in the finals.
What about the wild card?
Yeah, I wonder who the TBA will be. Oh, I know who that'll be. No, because it won't be on time. Never mind. Well, no, it could.
Who?
Depending on how. Ricochet.
Oh, it could be Ricochet.
But I don't think Ricochet wins.
Maybe MJF? Yeah, Ricochet, I think he would beat Jeff Jarrett, but probably not whoever's up after that, which will probably be Jay White.
Danielson Pac will be good.
Yeah.
Phoenix White will be good, but White's going to win. I think Danielson's got to do it.
I mean, I don't know. I would love to see Pac in the main event. However, I don't know how else you get Danielson in the main event for the title.
Could you see Pac winning that, though? Because I think they do a title switch this year. I think Swerve loses.
I mean, I could see them doing that for the hometown pop thing, like what they did with Saraya.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not his hometown, but I mean, home country. I could definitely see them doing that.
Again,
yeah, we're definitely not looking to me for long-term booking here.
Mm-hmm.
The beauty of what they have going on right now is we can look at the women's and the men's, and there's 3 in each that we think could win. Because Jay White could totally win. TBA could win. Danielson could win. Pac could win.
I think Jay White versus Ospreay would be fucking sweet.
Yeah, they've definitely got some history.
Yeah, but Ospreay's got to be the world champ.
I am sincerely thinking that Ospreay's going to win. And I'm starting to think, and maybe this is a little crazy of me to think, but I'm starting to think that Swerve and Ospreay are going to start a team. Start a faction of some kind. Or maybe it'll just be those two as a tag team or something, but they're
coming to a point where they have a couple people that are kind of there again, Because for a while, it was just MJF. We have nobody. Now you have Ospreay. You have Swerve. Danielson's sort of back. You can bring Moxley back at any time. Obviously, MJF is there. Jay White. There's a couple guys like that that are right on the cusp, which I think is good because for a while their struggle really was we just don't have anybody, and I feel like that's kind of changing.
When I think the upside was that instead of sitting in a holding pattern, which is Tony Khan is known to do from time to time, they built up these guys. They built up Jay White. They built up even Claudio Castagnoli to some extent. A lot of these guys they started building up, and they said, Swerve is coming up, so let's put him in a spot. We got Will Ospreay come in, and let's just put him at the top because he belongs there. Like, that was smart of them.
Yeah,
I think that's been WWE's downfall a lot of times. I think we talked about it before, is that they put the entire company on one or two guys' shoulders. And then you lose those guys and you're like, fuck, what do we do? And they just kind of flounder.
You can't argue though, because in the 1980s it worked.
I mean, sure.
And in the late 90s it worked, and in the 2000s it worked.
Because they worked such a different style. Guys were hurt. I mean, they'd wrestle hurt, but I mean, the style that they worked, they could be banged up and everything and still go out there, get their shit in, and everybody's
there is something, and I've talked about this before, like when we first started watching AEW, and you wouldn't see everybody every week. There's something to that. Yeah. Because in like the 80s, Hulk Hogan wasn't on every TV show. You could watch an episode of Superstars, they wouldn't talk about Hulk Hogan at all. You know what I mean? Like they just wouldn't. And I think that, so when he actually showed up, it made it way more meaningful. And I think that that's a piece they lost, and I think that works. I think that's their style did fit a little better back then, of not having the same grindy every week matches. Was kind of what the Attitude Era was, and Austin ran himself into the fucking ground doing that.
Yeah.
So, if Austin would have worked a Hogan schedule, we probably would have had 10 more years of Austin.
Yeah.
Easily.
I mean, thinking about it, it's kind of like a lot of wrestlers were doing that back then, like wrestling every week, but Austin was not just wrestling every week. He was doing segments, constantly. And so he was kind of like, he was running himself into the ground, and he was kind of at that cusp between, the smaller schedule for each individual, and like running all of the wrestlers into the ground. Like, just, you guys are there every week, and just, I don't know. I'm kind of rambling, but I think I think you know what I'm saying.
I think we shouldn't say that they didn't run the wrestlers into the ground in the 80s, because they did. Because I think they did more dates.
Oh, sure.
But they just didn't shove them on TV. They didn't shove them on TV the same way.
I see.
300 some dates a year, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they did way more dates than they do now, which is good. I was listening to a podcast with Taker. It was The Undertaker was talking about how their thing used to be they would go and they would record 3 or 4 weeks of TV on a Monday.
Oh fuck.
And this is primetime wrestling days. They'd record all their TV at one place, and then they would go start doing house shows, and they were doing 2 a day, where you do one in the afternoon and then one at night, and they would just boom, 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 boom. He said you did that for 4 weeks, then you got about 4 days off, and then you went back and started all over again.
Jesus Christ!
So I think the schedule back then was way fucking worse.
Yeah,
way
it sounds like it was
brutal.
But now you have live TV, where you have to go on live TV every week and kind of like put that product out there and try to stay fresh. And I think that kills some people, because you get tired of them, because it's just a little bit of overexposure. Like LA Knight was great, but when you put him on TV every week, it's kind of like, okay, cool.
Look, he's here again. Isn't that nice?
I think that was one of the, I think like Orange Cassidy, one of the biggest things they did with him in the beginning is he was not there every week. And then he started doing those weird appearances, like the time they opened the bathroom and he was just hanging out in the bathroom during that brawl and shit. Or he'd just randomly be here or be there, and it was like, okay, and they just slowly built that up. I think he's the most successful guy they've built, maybe other than like MJF.
Yeah.
But MJF was almost like a gimme when he came in.
Yeah.
But Orange really feels like a full-on homegrown guy that they've done a good job with.
I would agree. Yeah. I would say Swerve is probably like close to that, but he went through the WWE system, so people kind of knew him when he came in. Not to mention his time on the West Coast. People definitely knew him from that. Yeah. You hear my cat, don't you? Is that why you're smiling, Leon? Did you hear the row and then the thud? Because that's him jumping 15 feet in the air and then landing as hard as he can. Like that. Like that.
As far as cat podcasts go, we're ranked 3.6 million. For Ogre Feet, we're still number one.
Ogre Knees. Ogre Feet, we're still trying to break into.
Ogre Feet, Ogre Knees, we're number one.
Yeah.
We've got the knee market cornered. My bad.
We do.
Is there anything else about Dynamite? Because we went on a side tangent.
We did.
Which was a good point. It was a good point. But
it's my fault. I thought you were talking about the cats.
Fucking cats.
What do we think about the conglomeration? Orange Cassidy, Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly, and maybe Dante Martin, but it doesn't seem like it would be cool if Top Flight joined.
I just want to see Kyle O'Reilly react.
Oh my god.
To Briscoe's promos. It's amazing. It's freaking amazing.
His promo last week, I actually kind of like Kyle O'Reilly's. I kind of liked. Mark Briscoe hit it out of the park. Like, that was an amazing promo. Kyle O'Reilly was pretty good too. But this week, normally, like, when Kyle O'Reilly is on screen, he just kind of stands there and he kind of just looks like sullen. Like his cat just died or something. But this week, he was like making faces and he was like all jazzed the whole time. I loved it.
That promo was fucking insane. That's why I mean, it was
I will follow this man anywhere.
Reacting.
He was.
It's an interesting group. I think it's an interesting group. I don't know how permanent I want it to be, because I think all those guys kind of go do their own thing. But I think for the time being, it works.
Well, I almost would love to see it sort of like the best friends. Like, they're buds. They don't ever fight, but like they go off and do their own things. Because you're right, like having trios or quadruples or whatever every week doesn't make a lot of sense. But having them like convene every once in a while would be kind of cool. Like how they would have like Orange Cassidy talking to Renee, and then Chris would show up and like just put her arm around Orange for some reason.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I don't know. I it's fine. It's good. It's entertaining. I don't know if those guys need to be together, but I think that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't think Orange needs to go back into the best friends, though. I think he needs to kind of do his own.
Yeah.
His own thing. I think O'Reilly and Briscoe should stay very close to one another.
They could be a great tag team for sure. You're right.
Well, Briscoe's not going to tag.
Fair enough.
But that doesn't mean they can't go on the screen and do stuff together.
Yeah, be buds. I would be okay with that.
What about Samoa Joe and Hook?
Oh my god, I love it. Don't forget about the cameraman Shibata.
And Shibata's there too.
Y'all made Leon made the comment last week about Pulp Fiction, and now I can't unsee it. Like,
no,
every
I
time.
Can't either.
It's so totally like that.
But it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it really is. It's such a different.
I just love it.
I think it's great. I think those guys are.
I love how they're all serious. Like, are you guys ready to go? And then as they're walking out of the door, Joe's like, "Doom time? Really?" He's like, "Go in. You told me to go in extra. We're gonna workshop that." I love Joe.
That's a good fit
for sure.
I wonder if Hook's gonna stay. The question I guess the question is a guy like Hook better served in the E or AEW?
Before this program, I might have said WWE, but he can't do this kind of stuff in WWE. Maybe close.
I am gonna disagree with you because I am slowly beginning to think that you can do whatever the fuck you want in WWE, and that's not a bad thing. Because they're starting to push some boundaries. They're starting to do some shit.
Yeah,
the issue with Hook is I don't think Hook's big enough.
Yeah.
But that also doesn't seem to be...
You show up there and just get dwarfed.
I don't know if that's as big as an issue as it used to be. I think we need to sit here and basically say Triple H is really smart and he can look at a guy like Hook and go, okay, people respond to this guy. Let's use him just like how we're supposed to use him. I think Triple H is smart enough to do that.
I don't look for professional wrestlers. I look for superstars.
Yeah. So,
people who have it.
I think Hook has it. I hope he stays in AEW, though. I think that would be... I think he'd get used a little better.
Mm-hmm.
I think the ceiling's a little higher in AEW than it is What about where's Sammy Guevara? I keep waiting for him to show up. He's like nowhere. Are they just done with him?
They say that he's on. What was the wording? That he's cleared for wrestling or whatever. I don't know if he was just because we had talked about maybe he was suspended. But it sounds like maybe he was potentially also injured.
I don't wonder if he's going to come back with Ty Mello.
I don't know. He might.
Because she's about to come back. Maybe that's what they're waiting for.
That might be.
Give me something insufferable, because those two, when they're insufferable, love them.
Oh, God.
Love them.
I was desperately hoping that Hangman was going to show up tonight. It didn't happen.
That was the rumor. The rumor.
I mean, they were in Virginia, so
Hangman's got to
North
be
Virginia, but
Hangman's got to be the one that's going to be on the team opposite the Bucks in the cage match they're going to have.
I don't know. Maybe.
Or could he be the wild card?
He could be the wild card. That would make sense. He might be like, God damn it. He might be the fallback. Like if they, maybe they're planning on Ricochet, but if things don't work out the way that they want it to, because they might not know his contract status, like when he has how long his non-compete is, all that stuff, because they can't really.
Well, he doesn't have a non-compete. His contract is just up, so he could just show up.
Oh, okay.
But he's already been written off TV. But I don't know. It ends. They said in July, and I'm looking at this. And June 30th is the Jeff Jarrett match. So me thinking that may not be him.
Might not be him.
Could be Hangman.
Potentially. Hangman would make sense.
Could be somebody from New Japan.
Mm-hmm. I guess it depends.
I believe I read somewhere recently that in general, non-competes have been outlawed.
Mm-hmm.
They have they have been. They're not considered fair trade, so there is no more non-competes.
Yeah,
so if you get fired, you're allowed to go.
Pretty recently.
But that also means if you get fired, you don't get paid. So they fire you,
get that.
You're done. You can go work for somebody else today, but you don't get that 90 days of pay. So you're just done.
That 90 days,
that was,
your merch sales and all that fun stuff.
Because that was kind of the thing that WWE did is, well, we're going to give you a non-compete, we'll pay you. But we just don't want you to take the momentum you have here and go somewhere else. And that makes perfect sense within the wrestling world, because you fired me, why can't I do anything? Well, I can't do anything for 90 days. I can't do anything for 60 days, whatever. Now, I mean, that's the turnaround on shit will be a lot higher. Now, getting fired is not such a bad thing. You know what I mean? But then now they'll just make it so we want to fire you. We're mad at you. We're just sending you home. We're going to pay you.
Yeah. Which is normally what they do anyway.
Sometimes. Sometimes they make them work. Blue carpet. There we go. Jesus. They made him come work.
Ugh.
They just said, you're coming to work. And that was it.
Well, that's a good segue to the thing we actually want to talk about. Not that we didn't want to talk about the other part. The Wyatt Sicks debuted this week on Monday Night Raw, 6/17. What do we think?
Please don't fuck this up. Please don't fuck this up.
That's kind of the initial one I had.
Please don't fuck this up.
Yeah.
Please don't fuck this up.
God.
I am begging you.
And the graphic violence was jarring because they haven't done it. So if I'm a WWE fan if I started watching WWE in 2008 and I was a little kid and I've been watching it and I see that, holy fuck, I can't believe they did that, which is great. It looked like a horror movie. It pisses me off that they couldn't have done this with Bray. That's my biggest issue. Because if Bray was there, the shit Bray would have come up with is my worry for that group is that who is the star? Because that matters a lot there. And presentation's great. Can Bo Dallas be the one to carry that? Because he's going to have to be.
I think so. I think you're right. Yeah.
The presentation was great. The shit was great. You can't argue. How do you... They didn't go supernatural, right? Which is good. They just fucking attacked everybody and beat the shit out of them. Because the biggest problem with The Fiend was how the fuck do you work with the Fiend?
Yeah.
Right.
He's impervious to pain. He doesn't feel anything. He wasn't like the Undertaker. He was like a step above the Undertaker. That's why that shit didn't really work.
Mm-hmm.
And he was booked stupid. Like, that was the biggest problem. Because realistically, how would the Fiend ever lose a fucking match?
It's true.
That's hard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard. Which was, I don't know, you guys, I don't know how well you remember, like, 91, 92, 93 Undertaker.
A little.
They struggled with that, too. They had to bring in, like, big, scary monsters.
Yeah.
With painted on butt cracks.
And furry bodysuits.
Yeah.
Giant Gonzalez. No, this was good. I don't think you can say anything bad about it. The look, the way they did it. They had the fans eating out of the palm of their hands. It was fucking great. There's nothing bad I can say about it.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that always gets me with WWE is the theatrics, because I don't get into that as much. Particularly like the supernatural stuff or the stuff that doesn't logistically make sense, right?
Okay.
But watching this, hold on. Watching this and seeing the whole sequence, it wasn't supernatural, like they weren't leaning on that. There was theatrics to it. But I was actually excited about it. Like, for the first time in a very long time, I was watching that and I was like, this is actually kind of cool. I want to see what they do with it.
Okay, when you say theatrics,
yeah,
like the Undertaker theatrics, you never liked that.
No, I was a kid then. I
was just gonna throw out there that I once remember you wearing black sweatpants, a purple striped shirt, and a black cowboy hat.
Oh yes,
and a pair of white sneakers.
That's the pinnacle of theatrics.
And you came out into the ring in the basement as some form of an Undertaker clone. I don't remember what your name was.
Hellraiser. I was Hellraiser.
Was that actually the time you got shot in the face with the fireball?
That was when I got shot in the face with a fireball. And that was the exact moment when I stopped liking theatrics wrestling.
Just because we fireballed you with a flashlight? A dim flashlight, even.
It's just like...
Leon wasn't there for that. He was
lucky to survive. They were lucky to survive.
It was the stupidest fucking thing ever.
It was so stupid.
I don't know.
Because we were dumb. I'm not saying that I don't like theatrics in wrestling. It's when the theatrics takes me out of the actual wrestling match, right? Like seeing like the situation with like Swerve and Nick Wayne, where he like attacked him at the thing, that like added to the story, and it wasn't so unrealistic that I couldn't get past it. But like there were times.
Unlike the WrestleMania match where Bray Wyatt made maggots show up on the ring with a video from the top of the thing when he fought Randy Orton.
That was totally...
And Randy Orton got scared.
Oh, Randy Orton, what a fucking champ.
That was bad.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. I think they have to move him away from the supernatural, even though you can't move him fully away.
Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but also House of a Thousand Corpses. Like,
yep. Which I think is way better. Which is way better because you're moving it away from that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm spooky and I do spooky things.
Ooh, smoke. Leon, you are surprisingly quiet through all of this.
Yeah, you need it. You are the biggest Bray fan here.
Mm-hmm.
There's been times where Gal and I have shit on Bray and the Fiend character. And a lot of that was the booking. You were full in Bray full time. The first time you saw this, what was running through your mind? Like, what did you think of this? Like, tell us what you thought.
Well, when that first piano note hit, I freaked out. I was very excited that they decided to hold. Well, at least it seemed like they were still going to use Shatter for their theme, but then for the entire segment, it was just that piano note. So that kind of fizzled for me a little bit. a lot of emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mentioned it in the chat. Like, I mean, my TV kept getting blurry during it because it was really overwhelming just to see these characters come back. Well, different forms of them, but all creations from Bray's mind, from his imagination. That coming back really, I guess it did. Like even knowing, after the documentary came out and all that, it was firmly pointing at, yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this in some form. We're gonna bring the Howdy character back, and we're gonna try to continue what Bray was doing. Part of me never thought that they actually would, and just being able to see it out there again, I can't really describe it all, but it was a lot of emotion. It was really overwhelming because it made me feel, and that's my favorite thing in wrestling or any other kind of media, television, music, movies. When something can provoke an actual emotional response out of me, that powerful. I love that shit. I live for that. That's so good, and they did it really damn well. And they like just seeing, they got they got that Sister Abigail out there. They got Huskers. They got Mercy. They, like seeing those as actual characters and everything out there, and I'm so excited for it. Very apprehensive. Cautiously very excited because like my very first reaction here was, please don't fuck this up. Please don't fuck this up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't go too over the top with it. Try to stick with that same, I guess, feeling
Mm-hmm.
that they tried to do, whether it was with, the Southern cult leader gone wrong, or, excuse me, Southern preacher gone wrong type character, the Eater of Worlds, the fucking, the children's TV show host, the fucking monster. Like, you can't really replicate it, but try to respect it and honor that feeling and try to keep it the same while growing from it and not just being something that people roll their eyes at, something that people will react to still. I want that where it's provoking things out of you,
Mm-hmm.
good, bad, you know, whichever, where it is garnering that kind of emotional response.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the best shit in the world. Like go all the way back to like we've talked about my very first firm wrestling memory is like looking down the from upstairs and watching fucking Hulk Hogan superplex Boss Man off the fucking cage on Saturday night's
Jesus.
main event.
Mm-hmm.
Like Boss Man choking him out with his freaking stuff and everything after Zeus had come out beating him up. Like how the hell is he gonna survive this? I'm worried. That's my hero.
Mm-hmm.
Like just making you feel shit.
Yeah.
And it's in everyday life it's a fucking rare thing. So when I get it from something that I invest my time and my interest and money and all that other stuff from, like it means a lot. It
Mm-hmm.
makes it worthwhile.
Yeah.
I think
I would
I
agree.
think that's a huge point though right now is that we haven't felt for WWE in a long time. Like legit, the last time I
Mm.
was emotionally invested in something WWE, I know exactly when it was. It was the Yes Movement. It was Daniel Bryan. It was
Mhm.
WrestleMania 30, 10 years ago.
Mhm. Mhm.
Jesus.
For 10 years, they didn't get me on a
Mhm.
single thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Nothing. And I tried. Like I've always been. I never thought I would move away from wrestling and not watch it, but it got so bad I couldn't do it anymore.
Like, yeah, to the point where you're only tangentially aware of what's going on. Like,
Right.
you're paying attention, but not really.
Mm-hmm.
And then you watch a
Nothing's really
show.
grabbing you.
I've bitched about this so many times. You'll watch WrestleMania because it's WrestleMania and you want to get hyped. And like in your mind, you're thinking, man, if this is good, I'm going to watch Raw. And then you get insulted, and it's just like they insult your intelligence, and you're just like, fuck this program, fuck this company. You come back a year later and do it again.
Rug pull for the sake of a rug pull. Yeah. That kind of shit is just...
I think this is huge.
And honestly,
I think
that's kind of the type of thing that happened a lot with Bray. Was, they'd build him, and then when it came time, he'd always get the fucking rug pulled.
Tell me, I don't even think it's arguable. I think he's the biggest fumble they've ever had. They just could not. They got him right there and then pulled the rug, and then he got back there and they pulled the rug and they kept pulling the rug. They never let him be what he could be.
Every time, man. Every time. And it's not that he has to. It's not that he has to go out there and destroy everybody and win every match and all that. But anytime it was a big match or something that really meant something was on the line,
he lost.
They'd always have him lose. Fucking getting crushed by fucking geriatric Goldberg, like.
Gross.
Fuck.
They never should have put.
I'm upset about this shit all over again.
They never should have put him in for the world title. They should not have had him do it.
Yeah, with that character,
they should not have put the strap on him.
They could have done it the way they did, like with early and late stage Taker. Like he could have been that kind of an attraction where he could just go out there, have an interesting and compelling feud, get you invested in it, and then just have a fucking big old blow-off match for it.
Could you imagine if they would have brought him in? They would have had him beat Cena at Mania. They would have had him beat Taker at Mania, end the streak, and then he is the one that has the undefeated. He takes the streak from the Taker. And just fucking goes. Would that not have made sense? I don't think Bray was like a super good worker. I think he was limited as a worker.
But he was competent.
He knew what he had to
brawler.
do. Yeah, he knew what he had to do. But I think he could have been. He understood that character, and he was so good at playing that character. And it didn't matter what the character was; he was just good at it. I just look at him and I go, "Man, if you would have," because that would have been huge if he would have got that spot from the Undertaker. If he would just went, he would have beat Cena, he would beat Taker, and he would have just went on a fucking run. Instead, they fed him to Cena for no reason. They fed him to Taker for no reason. They just. But he was never a priority. I think this is huge.
Think about he didn't really fit into what the squeaky clean type of shit that they were doing at that point.
That's why people gravitated towards him because we were fucking tired of him.
Because he was fucking different. He wasn't the same thing. Yeah, he came out of their developmental system, but he didn't look like every single one of them. He didn't talk like everybody else. He wasn't the same cookie cutter fucking promo. He wasn't black tights and fucking.
That's all going away. That's all going away.
Yeah, I mean, it is now. It is now.
Yeah.
But at that time, like, shit.
When he's a part of that.
Like, imagine what he could have done, promo wise, with ending the streak.
Yeah.
It's not just gonna be this is my yard.
My personal opinion is that they never should have ended the streak. They should have just kept it fucking going and been done with it. But Bray ending it.
I would have accepted that too. But there was nobody that made more sense than him.
It's
at
true.
that point.
It's true.
It kind of made sense for Brock to do it, being the big fucking dominating monster that he was, but it really didn't do anything for him. It didn't add anything to his career. It's just another feather in his cap. That could have made Bray fucking forever.
The logic why they did that, and because of who was in charge, was if he beats Taker and ends the streak, he runs through everybody, and then he faces Roman Reigns and gets beat. He just made Roman Reigns a star, and everybody will cheer Roman because Roman beat the guy who beat the Undertaker.
That totally worked.
Didn't work.
Totally. Yep. Y'all are talking about characters a lot, and I think Bray was amazing at coming up with characters. Like, he reinvented himself, what, 3 times, 4 times? And the characters were always at least somewhat compelling. Like, they were, no, I'm not even going to say, like, they were compelling. And then when it got to, like, wrapping everything up and actually making something out of Bray's character, that's where they kind of shit the bed. But now I'm looking at this incarnation of Bray's characters and thinking, where, like, I'm just sitting there going, where are they going to take? Because they can take these characters, and Nikki Cross can take her character wherever she wants to go. Dexter Lumis can take it wherever they want to go. Like, they can expand on these characters and not even stay within, like, some kind of canon that Bray had in mind. And I'm not saying that his canon is a bad thing, but, like, it's really exciting.
Good guideline.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Sorry, I just had a claw in my armpit.
I kind of thought that's what it was.
Like, weird tangent or weird aside, but motherfucker likes to bury his face in my armpit. But he just put his paw there and it hurt really bad.
Oh.
But anyhow, yes, more character stuff, please.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. Like, I think his characters are amazing, and we get to see them interpreted by different people who loved the work that he did, and I'm so excited for it. I might even watch.
Yeah,
maybe those people all are going to be those characters with him. Like, the plan was for them to be those characters with Bray.
Okay,
Bray was the one that came up with the idea. They're just,
that I did not know.
I can't remember if it was in our chat or a different one that I was in, but the whole, like, before he came back as with the Uncle Howdy thing, his last return, like, he had changed his, like, display name on Twitter and everything. It was Wyatt Sicks. So he was already working. Yeah, he was already working in this direction. Just didn't get there.
I'm happy for Bo Dallas. So I think Bo Dallas is pretty good. He just never got a fair shake. He got typecast and kind of pushed to the side.
I was really worried about him because he was typecast and he was pushed aside, and he started posting promos or whatever, like video packages that were sort of hinting at maybe we're going to bring the Wyatt Sicks back. And I was like, God, I hope this works, because he's good. Like, I want to see this work, because I think this could be really cool. But WWE has a track record with this kind of stuff. They don't tend to understand it. But I think this seems like a good first step.
I think Triple H is not the guy who was there before, and I think that's making a huge difference.
Oh, God, yes.
I think it's making just a huge
very
difference.
much so. Very, very much so, yeah.
And the show is watchable. I think that alone is just incredible.
That's a huge win, man. That is a huge fucking win.
Yeah.
If I think of it, I'll throw some Raw or SmackDown on. Like, I hadn't watched in a couple of weeks, but then I saw all the rumblings and I heard the debut happen, so I had to watch Raw this week, which
I don't even think
it was good. They had some good moments. Some really good moments.
I don't even think it's just that, though. I think that whole product is just, like, good. I think they're good. I think it's a good product. I think they're aware of, you're not as stupid as we made you out to be, and we're not going to feed you shit. We're going to give you some compelling stuff to get you hooked. Because we have not had that.
It almost feels like they finally go. Remember when they had everybody in the authority come out to the ring and say, "You are the authority. We are going to listen to you. We hear you." It almost feels like they're finally actually
one of the things that they did, though,
going that way.
I mean, they do have authority figures on Raw and SmackDown, but they're not.
Yeah.
They're not. Not. I wouldn't call them authority figures as much as I would call them commissioners, because they're more like late 1980s commissioners that would just come out and deal with shit. And they were the authority figure that made the matches, but they're not, like, trying to fuck people over.
They just kept always doing the evil boss thing, the evil authority figure, the evil general manager, just out to fuck over all the faces. And it got so tired and repetitive.
I personally prefer alcoholic general manager who doesn't care about anything and does a terrible job because he just doesn't care.
Right?
But accidentally does a great job.
Makes for good television.
Tom, we got vacant
Doesn't
belts.
care.
Let's have a match. We'll just draw names out of a hat. 7 3/8. Town, that's not a person. Right, that's there. A hat size.
Whatever.
I don't care. That's the champion.
Oh, Christ.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I'm happy for WWE. I'm happy for that. I think it's a really interesting time to be a fan. I think AEW is... I don't think they're in a weird spot.
Starting to find their footing again.
Yeah, I don't think they were in a weird spot as they were like 2 months ago. I think they're starting to kind of get their trajectory of what they're doing. But WWE is just like that AJ Styles, Cody Rhodes had that match. Not the last one, the one before the first Backlash or whatever. That was a great match. Like, that was a really good fucking match. Like, they went out there and they had a match. There was a match they could have had on AEW. Like, they're doing that, and I think that's a big piece, because I think the reality of the situation was if they would have kept on the trajectory that they were, and they would have kept doing what they were doing, I don't think AEW would have caught them, because I think WWE is too big. But like in terms of product and like how things were, AEW was blowing them out of the water. And I think they took that information and they took those hardcore fans that they really lost, because they lost those hardcore fans, and they said, we need to kind of do what they're doing and mix it in with our style, and it'll work great. And it has. Like, you can't argue it. They've been unstoppable since like November. They've just been hitting it out of the park.
Just boggles, that peanut butter and chocolate.
Which boggles your mind, because it's just like before that it was like, holy shit, these guys are terrible.
So bad for so long.
Did we get it all out? Does anybody have anything else to share? I'm very excited. I will probably follow WWE at least more closely than I have in the past. Very happy.
I'm okay. Like, if they have a pay-per-view, which isn't even pay-per-view, it's a premium live event. That's how when I go onto Facebook and I read shit and people are talking about AEW and their premium live events. You're a WWE fan. You shut up. Well, their premium live events only have... No, just shut up. You don't know what this is. This is a pay-per-view. It's a PPV. Shut the fuck up. But, yeah, no. Good. Things are good. I'm happy. It's a good time to be a wrestling fan.
It's a good time to be a wrestling fan. TNA,
agreed.
AEW, WWE, GCW, NJPW, AJPW. Now I'm just flexing. Watch them all. I don't care. Do it and stop being a WWE asshole or a wrestling asshole in general. I think that's a good note to end on. I have been Gal.
Rivalous wrestling asshole.
Fuck your gatekeeping. Fuck your tribalism.
Yes, agreed.
We love wrestling.
We love wrestling. Just fucking get over it. This has been Leon, Gal, Town. So long and good night.
So long and thanks for all the fish.
Never